primarily run. I do a little bit of push-up, sit-up, and a little bit of weights, but not very much.
Okay.
Mostly cardio.
Okay, and you'd say you eat pretty healthy too.
I eat very healthy, with rare exception.
With your
With my
counter.
fitness pal helps me with that. Now, that's how I keep my weight in line.
Alrighty. As far as growing up, how would you say your childhood was? Like, how would you describe it?
Oh, I had a wonderful. I grew up in a small town,
Okay.
about 50 minutes from here. I grew up in a small town. I was what we would now call a free-range child, meaning that because it was in a small town and was a very safe place, I had the ability, along with my friends, to ride our bikes everywhere, run everywhere. Had a very nice, intact family, and lots of little friends who had wonderful, intact families, who all paid attention to us. So I cannot claim to be an abused child from childhood. I had a very nice little childhood.
Well, that's great. How strict would you say your parents were?
I would say I would put them to the middle of the pack to less strict. I had very tolerant, open-minded parents, and that followed through with their parenting.
Okay, nice. Do you have any siblings?
I have one sister.
All right, and are you guys still close?
I see her all the time. Yes, she lives in Indianapolis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when I go up for meetings, yeah, she and her family are up there.
Okay, great. And what religious background did you have growing up, or do you have currently?
Our family, I grew up Presbyterian, which is a Protestant Christian denomination. I am still Presbyterian.
Mm-hmm. Okay, alrighty. And I kind of already know the answer to this question. Would you say you were involved politically? And how so?
I am very involved politically, in both formal, structural politics in terms of working with the local. I'm a Democrat, and I am a precinct committee person for the local Democratic Party, so I'm involved in the actual mechanics of politics, as well as I view myself as being engaged politically on broader issues beyond, like, who's the dog catcher.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about this particular stage in life, there's once it comes, you're on the early end of that. So do you say that would you say that this has started yet? Any sort of searching for the meaning of life and kind of the greater sort of picture of it all?
You know, I will tell you the one thing that it's not that I'm frustrated with it. The one thing that I found that's been kind of interesting, and it will be for people of my generation, you all will deal with it differently. Having lived through a really, really dreadful period of economic, a lot of people my age, or people that I am friends with, encountered kind of hurdles and barriers that we would never have anticipated and were unprepared for, because we had grown up for 45 or 50 years with nothing like that ever happening. Not having large amounts of our future pensions or businesses or other things that in a normal environment. And I will say, I think that has caused me to be much more cautious and frugal.
Gotcha.
And I don't like that. I thought I would be much more. I thought I would be much more risk-taking at this point in my life and my career, because I would have felt comfortable that the future financially was going to be like the last 40 years was.
Right.
And because of that, I will entering this point in my life, I thought I would be a lot freer to do things I wanted to do, and now I find myself doing things because I think I need to do them. You know, working too much and trying to accumulate, you know, stuff for retirement and things of that nature that a lot of folks, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I think we were probably not cautious enough before that happened. But that 2008 to 2012 period, I think, readjusted a lot of people my age.
Right. So kind of, I guess, piggybacking on that, how optimistic would you say you are?
Well, I think I'm a fairly optimistic person. I've always been very lucky to get wonderful opportunities to do really fun things.
I can't tell that.
Yeah.
I would never guess.
Thanks, Reem. I appreciate that. No, but that would be a general outlook.
Okay. And then my final question is, because this is Erickson's stage of what he calls generativity versus stagnation, which is, people begin to worry about what they are putting forth for future generations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that you're reaching out to those generations in a way that will successfully impact them?
I will tell you, and this would be advice I would give to anyone. I have friends who are 7 years old, and I have friends, I think Don Korb is my oldest friend. I picked him up at church on Sunday, and Don's probably 92, 93. I love having a wide variety of interactions with people, multi-generational. And I hope that I am one of those people that if I am lucky enough to live to be 80, that I will be more interesting and more intellectually engaged and more interested in learning then than I am now, which would hopefully make me more interesting to people who are following behind me. And what I hope I don't become is a stodgy old conservative person that says the young people shouldn't do those things. So I do, that's one of the reasons I teach.
Right.
Is to keep myself engaged with people who are new and fresh to the field, and so yeah, I think I not only do that, but I enjoy it.
Okay, that's very important. That's great. All right. So she's got some more heavies.
Oh, you got the heavy stuff. You have all the heavy stuff.
No, it's not. Okay, according to the psychosocial theory of Erickson, I want to know if you are single or married.
I am single but partnered. I have a long-term partner. We are not allowed to marry yet here in Indiana, but and we have been together for 24 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That's
That's longer than all my married friends.
Yeah,
In fact,
exactly.
I'm the only one that's not divorced.
Hats off to you.
Okay. Do you think it's too early or too late to get married?
I will tell you, interestingly, if the opportunity to marry was available, and it is available now. I could go over to Illinois now, where I'm from. We could fly to Iowa, or we could go to Minnesota. We could. I don't know. We went around for so long. We had to make all the arrangements that a married couple would. How do you own property? How do you take care of hospital and visitation and wills and all that? We've spent so much time and money doing all the things because we weren't allowed to. That I certainly don't think it's too late to get married. I don't know if we would or not. Having done all that, might do it for tax purposes.
Right, yeah.
No, it's
Extra
certainly not too
bonus.
late. I certainly, and if I was not, if I was not in a relationship, I certainly hope I would still be able to find somebody and get married if I wanted to.
So, do you think you're receiving like pressures from family or friends to like a single?
I will tell you, when I was younger, and when the assumption amongst my friends and family was that I would follow a traditional straight and get married, I did feel a lot of pressure when I was young. And in fact, a lot of the reason I even moved to California, and which was wonderful for my career and got me to do all kinds of stuff, was to avoid that pressure by exiting so they couldn't see my social life. Now, because I don't, all my friends and family are aware of my sexual orientation. They know that I have a long-term partner, and they know that we have been together for longer than most of them have been married. I don't get any pressure to marry at all because they treat me as if I am.
Oh, that's great.
Well, and I will tell you, that's a big change in this country. I will tell you, that was not the way it was 25 years ago. The speed at which the social acceptance of our relationship has changed, just during the time we've been together, from hiding it completely and pretending we went separate ways at Christmas and all those things, to now where we are treated no differently than my sister and her husband. My sister is on husband number 2. She's been divorced. So I mean, she actually is viewed as, even though she was in the traditional heterosexual marriage, she is actually viewed as the person who has been less successful, and she has more pressure to do well in her relationship than I do, because I've been successful in mine. No, I'm not total. I mean, any 25, get
Right.
married for 25 years to see if it's completely successful.
Yeah.
Okay, have you settled in a career that you are passionate about?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I have
Again,
lots of
couldn't
careers.
tell.
Yeah, but no,
tell.
absolutely. And that has been a wonderful, I've always had that. I have never had to work. And I've never had to go to the factory and do something I hated. I've always gotten to do work that I've really passionately enjoyed.
That's wonderful.
Do you think you have progressed well in your career?
I think I have, because I have gone in a path that has brought me personal happiness. I would not, there would probably be some people that would view my career from the outside and think I had been too nonconformist and had missed the opportunity for greater financial wealth. But that was not something I was interested in. I have plenty of, I mean, it's not like I don't do well. But there are a lot of lawyers that are their place in the career now that would be making $500,000 or $600,000 a year, and think I'm kind of odd because I chose to go do that work for the poor or go do this, and so I would be viewed perhaps not as financially successful. But I feel I'm more successful than most of them because they're miserable.
There you go.
When you look at your friend from childhood or college, do you feel they are like doing much better than you do?
No. In fact, I have my 5 friends that I grew up with the little kids, and that our parents, we all grew up in the same neighborhood. We're still great friends. I'm going to see one of them tonight who's coming in from Indianapolis, and Joshua and I are driving to St. Louis to see 2 of the others on Friday and Saturday. We still run around together. I would say we were equally as successful. We've all been very lucky. I would say that I'm in the middle of the pack. I've got a friend of mine who went to Juilliard and went to the best music school in the entire country, traveled Europe in an orchestra, and then went back to law school. And now he's a partner at a law firm in St. Louis.
Wow.
I've got another friend who does hospital training for electronic medical stuff, and she travels the country and gets to all kinds of wonderful places training hospitals. I've got another friend who's a caterer. And she has this wonderfully creative career in St. Louis and is wonderful.
So you're surrounded by this.
Surrounded by really fun, creative, bright people who are happy.
Okay. If you had to live your life again over again,